So this episode is going to be a little bit different because I do not have time to record or edit this one. So we are going with a podcast style for this one. It's going to have the presentation, it's going to have the tier ranking and everything, but I'm just not going to have time to edit it as much as I would want to. So this is now a podcast with extra visual elements. Okay, I'm sorry, but I do not have time. I'm so sorry. I wish I could. So this month we are talking about Lover. If you are new here, this is a series where every month we talk about a different Taylor Swift album. It is July, so we're talking about Lover, which is the 7th album of Taylor Swift. And this time is entirely different than last month, because last month we spoke about Reputation, and what Reputation was a lot of dark themes, being edgy, and today we have Lover, which is all about pastels, about happiness, about joy, and about love first and foremost. Obviously, Reputation was deeper in that sense too, where it wasn't just about being edgy and a dark lord, it was also just as much about love as this album. So here we're going to dive into the themes in a bit, but I'm going to talk about the album as a whole, and then we're going to dive into every individual song, and I'm going to rank them based on my personal convictions about each song. So let's talk about basic info, which is everyone's favorite segment. And today's basic info is that the album was released on August 23rd in 2019. So we're approaching the event, but we're still before it. It's only about an hour long, and it had a bunch of singles. She came back with Me, which was something. Then You Need to Calm Down, Lover, The Man, and apparently Cruel Summer, even though I do not remember that happening. And now let's look at the cover. The cover is quite nice. It's just her in a t-shirt with her hair dyed and a heart drawn around her eye. And we see the font of this album is very fairy tale-esque, but not in the same vein as like Speak Now, but more in like a writing with a glitter gel pen kind of thing. The sky in the background is very pastel, and the main color of this album is going to be pink. Now, the back of the album looks like this, and this is where we discover the track list with 18 basic tracks, but we also have a 19th which isn't featured here that I'm also going to rank, which is called what is it called? All of the Girls You Loved Before. But it's not on here. Let's read the track list. So we have I Forgot That You Existed, Cruel Summer, Lover, The Man, The Archer, I Think He Knows, Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince, Paper Rings, Cornelia Street, Death by a Thousand Cuts, London Boy, Soon You'll Get Better, False God, You Need to Calm Down, Afterglow, Me, It's Nice to Have a Friend, and Daylight. And this is the entire album, plus that one song that I mentioned. So, there were 4 music videos that we got this era. The first one was Me, then we got You Need to Calm Down, then Lover, and finally The Man. Now let's talk about aesthetics, because every single Taylor Swift album has its own aesthetics that we all can pick up on and recognize as the brand and the vibe of the album. And this one, as you can tell already, is going to be very cutesy, very pink, and very happy. So the very first thing that I found on Pinterest was just a ton of hearts. I didn't mean to do that. So the very first thing that I found was a ton of hearts in a ton of different ways. We have like street lights, we have glasses, we have just little different charms, and the sky, and just cards everywhere, including on her face. Then we have sparkles of all kinds. This is definitely tied to the Era store, where she wore a lot of sparkles in that era, but also just in general we have sparkles and glitter and all kinds of stuff like that. Then we have flowers. She did a photo shoot in a flower garden, and it is definitely giving those vibes, those lover vibes. And there we go, we have a lot of flowers. Next up, we have dyed hair. As you might have already noticed on the album cover, she has a kind of ombre thing with blue and I think pink, and that is definitely something that is tied to this album and the aesthetics. Next up, we have the sky. The sky is also a part of the cover, so that's definitely part of it. But in general, the sky is a part of the aesthetics, especially if it's pastely and not just blue, but especially pink, and if it has a lot of clouds. And I even have an image of a heart cloud. Then we have streets, just images of streets, especially Cornelia Street, because that's one of the songs, but it doesn't have to be. It can just be images of her or somebody, I don't know, being out and about, out on the town. Just, it's important that it has to be a street. So then we have rainbows. This is both in the hair and literally anywhere else. We have a lot of rainbows in this aesthetic. And then finally, we have kisses, specifically lipstick residue kisses, whatever that is called, on different places like paper and mirrors. So here's the complete aesthetic of Lover, the album. I think it turned out pretty cute. And now we can move on to motifs. So motifs are a bit different to aesthetics because they are actually based on the things that she says in the album. I went ahead and I scanned the album multiple times to see which words show up the most, what themes show up the most, what is the overwhelming word on the motifs in Lover, and this is what I have found. So the first motif is light. It shows up a bunch of times. Here are the examples. I love this part. I love looking for the different motifs. Then we have love, which seems pretty obvious, and I know that every single album of hers has songs about love, but I'm talking about instances where, like here, she mentions love or lover or loved, just specifically that word. Then we have night. Even though this is a daytime album, at least it would seem that way, it even has a song called Daylight. It does seem to have a lot of moments where nights are mentioned. She does like to do that. There's a lot of night stuff on her albums in general, but this one is interesting because Lover seems like such a jolly, happy morning type album on the surface, but actually we have a lot of night here. And also death. This also shows up quite a lot, an alarming amount of time for a happy album. Stuff like ghosts and killing and death is something that props up a couple of times throughout the album. Then we have a car, which is probably one of her most frequent motifs in her whole discography. This one shows up 4 times, but I had to include it because it feels important. Then we have seasons. This is interesting because seasons are kind of a vague thing that can be mentioned everywhere, but here she actually name drops, I think, maybe not every season, but a lot of seasons. Obviously we have Cruel Summer, but we also have winter and we have autumn, so she doesn't name drop spring. Can EA please stop harassing me for a second? Go away, I'm not playing The Sims right now. Okay, sorry for that. Now we have another one that is really fun for me, which is games. I found a bunch of examples of different games, both dice and card games, and just being card sharks playing games that I found was quite cute. And then we have childhood. I captioned it childhood, but oh my gosh, EA again, go away. Childhood, which I didn't really know how to name this section because it's mostly about her talking about being a teen but also a child, and it's either her being a teen or the love interest being a teen, not in a weird way, but about kind of going back in time and reflecting on what happened when they were kids. So we also have school, like high school motifs once again, and I kind of lumped it all together into this category. Next up, we have Street. So this one shows up from the aesthetics. It is here too. And we have a bunch of examples. A lot of them are from Cornelia Street, but some aren't, so it shows up elsewhere too. Then we have the color blue, which is also interesting because in my mind, blue is almost the opposite of pink, which is the album color, or at least the color that is most commonly recognized as the color of a lover. And this album actually features the color blue way more than pink. I don't think it says pink a single time. And yet blue shows up, 6 times? And I did count indigo, but that is a blue and you can fight me on that. Then we have alcohol. Once again, alcohol is included, which shows kind of her transition to more adult themes, which is her right, since at that point, I don't know, she was like 20 something already. So she can drink alcohol and she can talk about it. And there we go. We have wine, we have whatever else, being drunk. We have patron. We have a bunch of stuff, and then we have hearts, also from the aesthetics. And there we go, we have both heartbeats and just the regular heart. We have breaking someone's heart, we have drawing someone's heart, or a heart around someone's name, I guess. And then we're nearing the end. We have the window, which is here 4 times, but it's interesting that it happened 4 times because previously in her works, I think on Fearless, we did point out a motif of talking to someone through the window or throwing pebbles at the window, kind of a Romeo and Juliet kind of scenario there. And here it happened kind of again with the window being important. And then finally we have marriage, which, by the way, congrats to Taylor and Travis for getting married. I wish them all the best. And it's interesting that she was always dreaming about marriage, and sad that it didn't work out before, but I'm happy she found her happiness now. And it's obviously on an album like Lover, you're going to have mentions of marriage, and she really, really wanted to get married, and now she's married, so good for her. Now for fashion. I do not know anything about fashion, so this is going to be a short segment, okay? Because what can I even say? The most important things here, I have included the bodysuit, which is just fashion perfection. If I looked like that and if I had this, I would wear the Lover bodysuit every single day of my life. I would not give this thing up and I would not let it rest. It would be heaving. I don't know. And we also have a couple of instances of colored hair, which once again is an important part of Lover. And then we also have tulle, which I kind of didn't mention before, but it's there in a lot of her pictures. And also this cute like rope thing from You Need to Calm Down music video. Just a lot of very what could seem like garish things, but sometimes it worked out, sometimes it didn't. Then finally, let's talk about the era store. So in the era store, we all know that every era, except for the newest one that came out after the era store, was featured. Okay, except for debut, which happened at the very beginning. But every era was featured, and it all started with Lover, which was the first era that was covered on the era store. I don't know why that gave me such a hard time to say. So the era store starts with Lover, and I think the reason for that was that she initially wanted to create something called the Lover Fest and basically have different festivals of this album and perform this album there in 2019, but obviously that didn't work out because that would have to have happened in around 2020, and obviously in 2020 we could not do festivals, so she had to move any sort of Lover big concert performances to the era store. So this is like a welcome back to this album. This is its finally its chance to be performed on the big stage. So this is how the era store starts, very iconically, with probably the most iconic outfit in the entirety of the era store, in my opinion, which is the bodysuit. I can't stop thinking about the bodysuit. It's so amazing. So she starts off with Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince, but it's a very abridged version. Then she goes into Cruel Summer, The Man, You Need to Calm Down, Lover, and The Archer. The Archer is kind of a sneak here, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know how it made it on. It's not the version that I saw, but I like The Archer, so that's kind of sad. And she also has this other outfit with a jacket and these cute boots, which I guess she also has with the bodysuit, but they are more prominent here. And that's when she sings The Man. And then she also altered the set list a little bit when TTPD came out, which is the Tortured Poets Department for the uninitiated. And she removed the Archer, just to spite me, I guess. And that's it for the theory part of this video. It took us not that long, right? And this is the moment where we're going to be transitioning into the ranking of all of the songs, which I hope is going to be fun and funky for all of us. So I'll see you there. Alright, so we are here at the tier list, and I'm going to be honest, this part of the video, the ranking portion, did not come together as easily as I wanted it to. I really debated over a lot of the placements here, and I only finalized my ranking today, which is kind of late, but I am excited to get into it. So if you're new here, the way that I rank things here is pretty simple. So the tiers are just the regular letters, and each letter has points assigned to it. So it's 6 points for S, 1 point for F. And at the end, we calculate an average out of 5, right? Because A is technically the top ranking with 5 points, but S tier just gives us that extra point. Hope that makes sense. And we will calculate an average on how I feel about this album and put it together with all of the other albums that I've ranked so far, and we're going to see where it ranks. So that's fun. And now I need to also tell you about the categories. So they're very simple, from this is the best thing ever to I don't like the song, not on my playlist. The only thing I need to say is the D category, because this one is for the songs that are kind of too sad for me. I literally can't listen to them because they are sad. And they could be the best song ever made, but they're going to be in D because I literally cannot listen to them. So there we go. And I think we can start. So the first song on the album is I Forgot That You Existed, which I think is an official goodbye to Reputation. She says that she used to be so obsessed with other people and what they think of her, but now she basically doesn't care, which we know is not really true, but whatever. And she sings about the idea that instead of being fussed about someone and being super focused on what they did to her, she simply just forgets about them even existing in the first place. So that is the song, and it does have a Drake reference, which maybe in 2026 is a bit aged, but I think it's an okay song. I honestly, when I first went into this album this month, I really liked the song, but after some thought put into it, I think it's kind of mid. I don't really find myself wanting to listen to it, and when I am listening to it, I kind of am just waiting it out. So I have decided to put it into this C tier, which is not that bad. It's still on my playlist, but I just don't reach for it as much. So then we have Cruel Summer, which is obviously the HBIC, and this is the girl that everyone else has to be worried about. This is the one that gets all of the flowers, and she should get all of the flowers. And it's a great song. What is it about? You tell me. I'm putting it in A tier. So, okay, maybe I'll try to explain what the song is about. Because basically it's about a romance with, I guess, a bad boy. That's what she says at least. and about this like a summer fling where she is with this guy, but she doesn't want to be vulnerable with him, and it's like a whirlwind. I don't know how to say that word. Whirlwind romance, but it's also cruel and stuff. So that's what Cruel Summer is about, and it is definitely, it deserves all the praise that it gets. It's a great, great song. There is a moment in the song where she sings about a vending machine, and she says, "I'm not dying," but it's obviously supposed to be "I'm not buying" because she's talking about a vending machine, and that's what it should be. So that's my stance on Cruel Summer. Next up, we have Lover, which is the wedding song. This is the song that I feel like if you're going to pick for your first dance out of the Taylor Swift discography, you're probably gonna pick that one. And it's very sweet, it's very loving, it's cute. She talks about love with a lot of enthusiasm, which is nice for her. It's really easy to pick up on that. And she also says that she's going to be leaving lights, Christmas lights, up till January, as if that's such a crazy thing. I don't know, in my household, you take those things out off like mid-January maybe. So you want to extend the Christmas as much as you can. I don't get it. Do you really want to spend your New Year's Eve taking the decorations off? That's a bit weird. I know people have called it out before, but I just need to say it. But other than that, this is a very, very good song, and it's going into A tier. That's right. This era has accusations of being a flop era, but so far so good. If you don't look at I Forgot That You Existed. So then we have The Man. The Man is about, it's got a pretty simple concept. It's about the fact that if she was born a man, and if she was in the same position that she was this huge star with so many accomplishments, she would be treated like a god, right? She would be treated like the most impressive person who's ever existed. And just because she's a woman, people are not treating her that way. And I think the Era Store did absolute wonders for this song. I think when back in the day, I used to always like this song, but the Era Store really, really highlights it in a way that just listening to it on your phone or whatever can't do. And I really like the performance. And I think another factor with these songs in particular is that I actually got into Taylor Swift around the time where Lover was released. So I am a Reputation stan, but I would listen to that album selectively. And then when Lover first came out, I tried to listen to the whole thing, but at the time I was like, this is too long, girl. And I listened to like most of it. And then, because I wasn't a fan yet, right? I was like a mid-tier fan. So I have a lot of nostalgia for all of these songs. So even though maybe this isn't the best song of all time, I still really like it. I almost put it in A tier, which is crazy because this is clearly a B tier song. This is where it belongs. I don't know what I was thinking. Then you have The Archer, which is Anxiety, the song. Anxiety, the musical. This one is about being anxious. Well, who would have guessed from my description? This one is about being super stressed about what people think, which is like, girl, did you listen to the beginning of the album? But no, it's fine. She can have multiple feelings at the same time. We all do, right? I love the line, "Who could ever leave me, darling, but who could stay?" Absolute genius. And then at the end of the song, it changes into "You could stay." Masterpiece. I don't know, I used to not like the song because it's slower, and if you know anything about me, you know that that's a death sentence for a song if it's slow. But I have since come around and I really like it. I like it so much that I'm putting it above The Man, also in B tier, because it's not like wow, super explosive, I love the song so much, A tier kind of thing, or S tier. That's, we don't even have to talk about S tier. S tiers are rare and few and far between, but it's still a very good song that I really like. Then we move on to I Think He Knows, which is so underrated. I love I Think He Knows. I think it's just a perfect song. And also, the Riddler, does he know? I wish I could have time. I wish I could have time to edit that in. But what if it's the only thing I edit in? It's probably not going to be here. And I'm extending that joke for way too long. Anyway, the thing that I wrote down in my notes here is just a bunch of gibberish, because that's how I think and feel about I Think He Knows the song. This song is about love and about how hot the guy is, and that's basically it. It's about how much she feels love for this guy, and it's, I'm not gonna lie, it is an A-tier song also. It's a nice like arrow thing now. That's nice. Then we move on to Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince. Forgot the title for a second. So this song is pretty complicated because, okay, this is like a political song, but for the life of me, I could not tell you what it's about because it's kind of muddled, right? This song is like about 10 things at the same time. She's like, Trump won and that sucks, but also we're in love, so whatever, right? And it's kind of a weird stance to take, I'm not gonna lie, but it's also a very fun song. And by fun, I mean it's fun to hum, fun to listen to. If you're tuning out whatever she's saying and just kind of going with it, it's an incredible bop. But at the same time, I don't know what to think about it because it's about 50 freaking things at the same time. And I almost put it in CT for that reason. But then I was like, this is actually a pretty good song that I like to listen to. And that's reason enough for it to be in B tier. It's also right in between two very cutesy songs that I really like, which is not serving it very well. Because then we have Paper Rings, which is the Please Please Marry Me song. Please 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 Marry Me, which is about I would marry you even with paper rings. And she's also incredibly in love. This one, I need to talk about this one because nobody else does. And I think it's important. You know how on TTPD, which is the Tortured Poets Department, for the, you know what I'm saying. What I mean is that there's this moment on the Tortured Poet Department, on the Tortured Poets Department, where she does a pregnancy scare because she's like, I'm having his baby. We're not talking about that yet. But I experienced that for the first time listening to this album when she says, I like, what does she say? Let me look up the lyrics. Paper rings, lyrics. She says, I like shiny things, but I'd marry you with paper rings, right? So she's like, okay, marriage. And then she says, I hate accidents, except, and I go, oh my god, is she pregnant? And then she says, except when we went from friends to this. So I experienced the pregnancy scare firsthand during that song. And other than that, I think it's really good. I think it's a very cute song, not for everybody. I know that some people don't like super cutesy, super like flamboyant, I don't know, very over the top songs, but I do. I like that kind of thing. So it's going into A tier. I love that song. Then we have Cornelia Street, which is like, it's not even that sad, but it also makes me wanna cry, right? It's about a very, very specific feeling. It's my death by 1,000 cats, okay? It's about a very specific feeling of, even though you're happy at the time, you're already ruminating about what you're going to be feeling when it's over. I have that feeling all the time. For example, during the Eras tour, I was like, I'm having such a good time right now. This is time, 1,000 of me bragging about the fact that I made it onto the Eras tour. But when I was there, I was thinking about how much I love the experience. I was like, this is one of the best days of my life. And in about 5 hours, I'm going to be so sad that it's over. And that's crazy, right? I was already worrying about that then. So this is the feeling that Cornelia Street gives. It's about a relationship that is so good that she's already thinking about how extremely depressed she's going to be when it's over or if it's over. And she is really good. At the very end of the song, I'm like, I'm sorry, is someone moving furniture around here? But then I'm like, oh wait, someone's moving furniture around here. They're moving out. That's crazy. So this song almost made it into A tier, but then it just scrapes the very top of B tier. Okay, it's right there. Then we have, what do we have? Death by a Thousand Cuts. I think this is a song that a lot of people absolutely adore, and I could not get into it for the longest time. I thought it was just fine. It was just a B tier, and it's still a B tier, but I thought it was just like a middle of the road kind of song. And then over this month, when I was really, really focusing on this album, I kind of got attached to it. I get it now. I get it a little bit. Okay? But I think the bridge really carries the song. You know, my heart, my body, my skin, my eyes, or whatever. When she says that, that's the best part of the song, or the build up at the end. But then the verses are kind of about nothing to me. It's about after breaking up, she's depressed, she's talking to traffic lights, she's really unwell, and she is like it's a death by a thousand cuts. I don't know how to explain it all. Now, I love the line, but if the story's over, why am I still writing pages? That's Chef's Kiss. And it moved it was like down here, right? Bottom of B. But now it's my second favorite out of the B's. So who's happy about that? Then we have London Boy, which is another one like Paper Rings. It's silly, it's funny, it's stupid, it's cutesy, and I really like it. It's about being in love with a guy from London, and obviously Taylor is American. And it's so cutesy, it's full of references to different stuff about Britain, and it's cute. I don't know how accurate it is from the perspective of British people, if they absolutely hate it, if they love it, but I like it. I think it's really cute, and I wrote down, I wish it wasn't so American, because at the end of the day, this is a song about London and about the UK, but she also talks a lot about herself and her own experiences as an American person, right? She talks about Tennessee, she talks about whatever else, and it's all American. And I'm here like, maybe let's make this British song a little bit more British, because I love that. Home is where the heart is, but God, I love the English. Very relatable, as you can probably tell from my voice. So, London Boy is going into B tier. Just where exactly is it going? I think it's going above the man and after the Archer. She's cute. She's really cute, and I really like her, and she's there definitely to cheer you up. Talking about things that will definitely not cheer you up is Soon You'll Get Better. This is one of her saddest songs ever, and I can't listen to it, and for that reason it's going into D tier. Not because I'm upset with it that I can't listen to it, but because that's where all the sad songs go, because it genuinely hurts me, right? I can't listen to the song without at least tearing up a little bit. It's about her mum being sick, and that is genuinely such a hard topic to think about, to write a song about, I'm sure, and she's really brave for putting that on the album. And I guess this is all I have to say about it, because I literally can't listen to it. I had to force myself to listen to the song over this month, and I think it's very well written, but also I can't. I'm sorry. Then we have False God. Do we have False God? Why is my list different? Why am I always so unorganized? What is happening? What's after that? No, it is False God. Why is this list wrong then? I hope it has everything, because I'm not adding it. We're going to be doing that verbally if something's missing. Okay, so False God, crazy run, by the way. London Boy, Soon You'll Get Better, False God. I don't know why she did that, right? It's like, I love my boyfriend who's British. extremely sad song. Shrexy time. And that's that. So False God, insane place to put it on the album. It's really good. It's about just it's like it's got religious themes, but it's like a sensual Shrexy song. And that's really all you need to know. Sorry, my chair is squeaky. That's really all you need to know going into this song. And I am putting it quite high. That's not it. I'm putting it quite high in B tier. There's a lot of B's. I'm scared of bees. Okay, now we move on to You Need to Calm Down. So You Need to Calm Down is a song that is perfect for June, but also the whole rest of the year, so it doesn't matter that it's July, because this is a pride song. This is a song, it's kind of funny though, because the first half is about hair haters, and then the rest of the song is like, and homophobes too, which is fun of her, I guess. This is like kind of a cotton candy song, right? Like it's kind of, I don't know, surface level. It doesn't teach you more about like queer history or queer culture, but it's like, why are you being so pressed about people just living their lives? Why are you being so angry about that? You need to calm down. Sometimes that's all that is needed to be said to these people. And it feels like, you're giving them a finger when you're listening to the song. I don't know. It's really, really fun. And even though it's kind of silly, it has cute stuff. It has cute stuff in there, definitely, right? Like the lyric, "Shade never made anybody less gay." That's cute. And it's also, I think, it's good to have such a big pop star openly supporting people's rights, and also have a song about it. Like, she's not just saying, yeah, I like queer people, but she's also making a whole song about it and a music video, and it's really nice of her, in my opinion. And also this song features a Reputation reference, so that's nice. And I think I'm putting it in, where is it? I'm putting it in B tier, and I think I'm gonna have to put it after The Man. But I think I like it. It's like fun. That's what I have to say about it. Then we have Afterglow, right? Person who made this tier list. Okay, that's when it comes. So Afterglow is one of the songs on this album that I genuinely don't believe exists. It's so weird because like this one and Daylight, I'm like, these are not Taylor Swift songs. She doesn't have songs called Afterglow and Daylight, but she does. Isn't that a little bit weird? Nobody talks about these songs. Nobody's ever like, my favorite Taylor Swift song is Daylight, or my least favorite Taylor Swift song is Afterglow. You're insane. If you say that, who are you? I want to meet you so bad. Who says that? But okay. This song is very easily get stuck in your headable, and for that reason, I think I need to be putting in the B. But first, I need to tell you what it's about. It's not my favorite song, so it's going after The Man. It's kind of muddled in my head what it is trying to say, but basically it's about her apologizing to her boyfriend or whatever. Her saying, "I messed up. I'm sorry. I was a bad person or whatever. I made a bad choice, but we're together and we're in love, and let's do fun things together." And that's what Afterglow is about. And I like her. I think she's cute. I wish Taylor Swift had a song called Afterglow. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Then we have Me. Me, right? This song caused a lot of commotion when it came out because people are like, this? You're following up Reputation with this? And I guess I'm inclined to agree. What the frick, Taylor? What is this? This is like a song from a kids movie, and not a song that is included in a kids movie. It's a song that is written for a kids movie, which I love kids movies, okay? I love animated movies, and a lot of them are kids movies. I love some songs from animated movies. That one from Trolls 2 or whatever, Watch Me Work, that's better than a lot of songs on Love Apps. Sorry. That's a very good song. And I think that's fine, but this one is a lot, okay? This one is a lot. It's kind of annoying. And I'm sorry to be that girl, but it's kind of annoying. It's camp, what is what it is. And I think that's what she was going for. And but I still don't really know what she was thinking. The only thing, kind of the saving grace of the song, is the fact that I keep seeing posts on like different Taylor Swift related pages about parents whose babies really like this song, and that's just so adorable. The fact that like this is a song literally for babies, but like babies love it, and just thinking about happy babies makes me happy. I don't know. It's kind of kids bop. She also, at the same time, she was the bravest person ever for releasing this, but also kind of a coward for the fact that she cut a part of it, but people were hating on, which was, "Hey kids, spelling is fun." That happened at the end. Why would she do that? Why would she remove it? If you're going to do something crazy, keep going. Keep going to the end of the road. I think she just wanted to go as far as possible from Reputation, and she succeeded because Reputation is very good. So I'm putting this in C tier above I Forgot That You Existed because I'm not feeling well. So there we go. Then we have It's Nice to Have a Friend, which you guys are just being mean, okay? This one I cannot agree with you on. This one is cutesy, right? Does it sound like a horror movie song? A little bit, yes. But it's also really cute. It's Friends to Lovers, which we all know I love. And it's also like, I don't know, it fits the album, right? The album is about love, but it's not just about her love for her boyfriend. It's about love in all kinds of forms and sizes, right? About queer love, about family, about whatever else, about the things that she loves, like, I guess, London. I don't know. But this one is about somebody growing up with somebody else and then slowly falling in love. It's basically like Mary's song if Mary's song was fake posting, because it's like, did they get married in the song, or are you just assuming that because of the rice? I don't know. I think they did. And for that reason, that's not the reason, but I like the song, so I'm putting it into B tier. Yeah, that's what I'm putting it. It's after You Need to Calm Down. It's really short and simple, so like there's not a lot of fanfare and fireworks to this song, but I really like it. I think it's cute, and so it's in B tier. So 2 of the last songs, isn't that crazy? We have Daylight, which is another cute song, another one that I forget exists. Maybe it's the curse of I Forgot That You Existed, that I forget these songs. Who knows? So this song, what is it about? It's about love. It's about sunlight. It's about being in love. And it's about a bunch of other things that I can't explain. So, for example, there's like weird lines here, right? Like about you ran with the wolves. What do you mean by that? I know what it means, but what does it mean in context of this song? I have no idea. She also references red, which is really fun. I love when she does that. I love when she does little intertextual things, like references like that. She says, I used to think love would be burning red. That's really cool because we all know what she's referring to. We all know that she's talking about Red the album and Red the song and the era. That's really cool. And I really like the message at the very end because there's like a spoken outro, which for the longest time, I didn't even know that was Taylor. I don't know who I thought it was, but I was like, this is just some person talking. Just some lady, I'm assuming, talking. And it's Taylor Swift. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that on this Taylor Swift song, on the Taylor Swift album, Taylor Swift would be talking, right? But I'm sorry, I'm used to her singing. I don't know what she sounds like when she's talking. And yeah. So she's talking about how you are what you love and not what you're afraid of or the things that you don't like. You are what you love. Also, I forgot to mention, I am absolutely obsessed with the way that she says, I can never look away. It's so cute. Oh my gosh, I love that. So, Daylight, even though I don't know how to describe this song, I really like it. I think it's really fun. and it's also one that gets stuck in my head. So it's going BT after the Archer. You can't tell any of these apart. You can't tell what it says on any of these. So I'm sorry about that. You're going to have to trust my word that I put them together right. Because it's time for our final song, which is All of the Girls You Loved Before. I will never remember this title. It's all because of that freaking book that I haven't even read. To All of the Boys I've Loved Before. That book, it's messing my mind because I want to call this song To All of the Girls You Loved Before, but she's not talking to the girls, she's talking about the girls. So this is basically, the title says it all. It's about the different women that her now boyfriend loved in the past, or who loved him in the past, and how they shaped him. And now that Taylor has him, I guess she's going to show him how forever feels, and it's a very cute one. It's another marriage, wedding dance, first dance song, and I really like it. I will go as far as to say best song ever made. Anybody? I think it's the best song ever made, but it's also going after Cruel Summer, because that one is unbeatable. So ponder about that. So this is my ranking. There's a lot of B's, but no F's. That's exciting. So anyone who says that this is the flop era, think again before speaking, because there's a lot of good songs on this album, and I need to do the maths, right? I've already done it off screen, but we need to do the maths together, okay? Let's sit together and do the maths about what the rating is, right? 0 F's, 1 D, 2 C's, how many B's? 11 B's, 5 A's, and 0 S's. And math sound, that amounts to 76 points. And that has to be divided by 19, which is the number of all of these songs. And that gives us, you are not ready for this, this gives us 4. Just 4. Not 4.7, 4. Isn't that crazy? Right? Just like, ignore all of this. The fact that 76 divides by 19, what is this? What is the sorcery? I don't know. So 4. That's my ranking. That's my rating for this album. And if you divide it by 5, which is our top score, we get 80%. So 80% is really good, but it's not as good as I thought it would be, because it's actually in 4th place. It used to be 2nd, by the way. It used to be 2nd in my rankings, like way back when. But now it's 4th, after Speak Now, above Red. I don't know how we're all feeling about this, but I think it fits that. I think that's great. I want to thank you so much for sticking along and watching to the end of this video. If you did, that's crazy. I don't know, leave me an emoji. Tell me what your favorite song from here is. Tell me if you like Clover at all. If you don't, why are you here? But I love you. Regardless, whoever you are, I'm so glad you're here. And I hope you see a cat and you have the opportunity to pet it, especially if you like cats and if you're not allergic to cats. And other than that, I think we have covered basically everything there is to say. So I think this is where the video ends. And I hope you have an incredible day, evening, night, or whatever. And I will see you next month. Bye!